Good morning, my friends, and welcome back to Arms and in Gaming. The location might look a little bit different. It's because I'm actually away on leave currently. But work has to continue. You know the Queen song, the show must go on. That's how we do it. This is going to be a very long video that I have for you today. It's actually a video I wanted to do for quite a long while. It's when you start off Bloodborne for the first time. I mean, a lot of us know Bloodborne, a lot of us are very seasoned players and all that stuff, but I always see these comments about people where they complain, you know, the game is too difficult, they don't know where to go, they don't know the lore of the story, the areas are too big, all that kind of stuff. So what I'm going to do in this video, and I'm going to continue doing this for the whole game, is I'm going to guide you through the basics of Bloodborne. From where you start off in Yusefka's clinic, where you move on to getting your first garb, some of your pickups, all the stuff that you need to get the game going. So I'll see you inside the video, my friends, and stick with me because it's quite a long one. We're going to be covering the whole central Yharnum for now, the Cleric Beast boss fight, and the Father Gascoigne boss fight. So I'll see you inside.
Farewell, good hunter. May you find your worth in the waking world.
Well, my friends, here we go. Now, this is a very common scene when you start off the game of Bloodborne. You wake up in Yusefka's clinic after you've just had your blood messed around, but very cool cutscenes and stuff. So I implore beginning players, watch the cutscenes. This is a very important thing for beginning Bloodborne players. You're going to get a lot of pickups in the games. Bloodstone chunks, blood shards, antidotes, sedatives, rocks. It's anything you can pick up. You can add those to your quick item list, as I'm doing there now. It just makes it easier for you in the game to scroll through that with your arrow keys, when playing the game and fighting boss fights and all this stuff. This character of mine was pretty high because I think this was like the third playthrough I did with this character. But I will be explaining, that's why I have a lot of pickups. You're not going to have all these pickups when you start off the game. I'm just showing you where to put all that those consumables as soon as you start the game. But that's your basic garb that you're starting off with. I'm starting off the game with the Saw Spear. There is a place in the beginning of the game where you actually get offered 3 different weapons. For this character, I already had the Saw Spear, so I'm using one of the basic weapons and the Hunter's Pistol. Now, again, don't be fooled, because when you start the game, you don't start with a weapon. So killing that wolf could be very hard. It takes some trial and error and a good amount of practice to kill that thing via a visceral attack. Now, a visceral attack is where you stun the enemy either from the front by shooting at him as soon as he attacks you, or if you chop at him from the back and you stun him. Doing it with just your fist is a bit tricky, but it is definitely doable. As you saw there, now I just picked up 10 bullets there, and over here you're going to find some blood vials. There's 4 of them over there. Always check around the corners, always check around everywhere to find consumables when you start off the game. There's an example of a visceral attack. As soon as an enemy attacks, most of the enemies in Bloodborne you can do visceral attacks on. So if you see them attack and you get your timing right, shoot at them, stun them, and give them a visceral attack. Another couple of blood vials there. There's some Molotovs over in this corner over here. It's very easy to miss this stuff if you're playing this game for the first time. But look for little lights. I mean, that's kind of the thing with From Software and those types of games. Wherever there's a little light lying, you'll find something that you can need, that you might need in the game. If you follow this path, you should get through Central Yharnum pretty quickly. I took my time, again, because I wanted to show you guys as much info as I can as for beginning players. The garb you start off here is the foreign garb. It's not a very strong garb, but I'm going to show you in this video as well where to find your first hunter's garb. This is what we call a lantern, my friends. Now you use that to return to the hunter's dream. It's like your hub. This little window over here is one of your side quest NPCs. There's a guy in there called Gilbert. Now, if you interact with him and you follow his quest line, he's going to talk to you about Yharnum and the sickness and all that stuff. And later on, I think it's after the Vicar Amelia boss fight, he'll actually give you a flame sprayer, which is a very cool weapon to have, and it's actually a necessity weapon if you're going for a platinum in the game to get all the weapons, all the special weapons. So just keep that in mind as well. Various different ways you can attack enemies. I mean, you can just hack and slash at them like I'm doing there, or you can bait them out one at a time. When you're starting off the game, never think that you're so good that you can take on all the enemies at once. You can do it, but it takes practice. It takes a lot of practice to know how to maneuver through these enemies. And I mean, don't be fooled. Well, I don't know if you should call them farmers or whatever they are, but they can be quite tough. I pointed this out in an older video on the channel as well. Notice how the citizens, their left arms is much lengthier than the right arm. And it's quite funny if you look at the cleric beast, one of the bosses we're going to fight in this run through of Central Yharnum. Left paw is enormously big, so that's kind of the sign of the scourge. You just notice the one arm is a lot longer, plus the facial hair and all that stuff. This game, I mean, came out in 2015, but it still looks amazing. I'm playing this now on the PS5, and it still looks just as good as it did when it came out. This guy is a tricky little bastard. I said little bastard, but he's a big bastard. You can stun him, like I did there. You can hack and slash at him, but remember, your character is not going to be as strong as mine for the damage I'm doing here. What you're going to do as a new Bloodborne player, you're going to have to kill enemies, like you see there on the top right-hand screen. You gather what is called blood echoes. Now, blood echoes you use to upgrade your character. There's 6 lines that you need to upgrade on your specific character. You do this in the Hunter's Dream via the doll. It's your vitality, your endurance, your strength, your stamina, your blood tinge, and your arcane. I always focus on strength builds, so my strength, my stamina is always way up. My blood tinge is way up because the higher your blood tinge is, the stronger your firearm is. If you're an arcane player, then it's better to have a better arcane build. Arcane weapons are very cool and all that, but I don't know, I'm just a basic strength guy. So that's but I'll get to that when we get to the Hunter's Dream. What I just picked up there is called a blood shard. Also a very important consumable, because you need that stuff to upgrade your weapon. When you buy a weapon or pick up a new weapon in the game, you can upgrade it to a plus 10. The higher the plus, the stronger the weapon. It's very basic. So for your first, to get your weapon to a plus 3, you're going to use blood shards. To get your weapon to a plus 6, you're going to use twin blood shards, which you find later in the game, later areas. And then to get it to a 9, a plus 9, you're going to use what's called blood rocks. Blood chunks. And then to get it to a plus 10, you're going to use a blood rock, which is you find one in the main game, later in the Nightmare of Mensis, and there's also one available in the DLC part, the Old Hunters part. You can actually find some, I think there is some blood rocks available in some of the Chalice dungeons, but we're way far from there. We're not going there yet. Sorry, I'm just rambling on here. I have to explain as we are going here. As you can see, what I'm doing is I'm centering out enemies, but I'm not making it difficult for me to attack them as, grouping. Groupings can be very dangerous. like I said, this character of mine is quite strong. So you're going to start off, the lowest level you can start off is what's called a waste of skin run. Then you're on a level 4. That's if you really want to put yourself through hell. But your normal level is normally a level 10. So at first, you're going to do what we call farming. You're going to farm blood echoes like crazy to upgrade your character and get stronger. Because, I mean, the farther you go into the game of Bloodborne, the more tougher the bosses are going to be, the tougher the enemies are going to be, and all that stuff. I always say this to people, you know, just murder the thing, you know, and what I mean by that is, you know, just hit it and run. There's no shame in running. Don't just stand there going toe to toe with these guys, because if there's 2 or 3 of them and you're not a very strong character, you're going to get your ass kicked. And the bad thing about that, let's say I died there now. Let's say that dog killed me. Then I'm going to start all over back at the lantern, and all these guys are alive again. And then I'm going to lose my blood echoes. It's going to be lying either on the ground somewhere, indicated by a little red light, or you'll see an enemy carrying a rivet indicating some silver glowing eyes. So that means you have to do it all over again. So rather take your time to fight enemies safely than just running in and, you know, thinking you're Rambo's brother, you know. I hope you can, you're following what I'm doing there. I almost forgot about these blood vials over here. Behind that door is what I call Uncle Bob. It's actually a stone troll or something like that. But there's some videos on the channel as well, Tales from Bloodborne, where Uncle Bob made his very first appearance. Here's another blood shard. I'm going to leave this for the first time you go to the Hunter's Dream. Some more blood vials over here. Now, there's 2 ways you can go here. You can either go through those coffins on the left-hand side, or you can go down here and follow the bridge. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the left-hand side and open up the shortcuts first. This is also very important. Open up these shortcuts just to make, because you're probably going to die a lot. Rather open up the shortcuts first, and then at least when you lose your echoes to these dogs or to any other enemies, you can come back closer. There's a cold bloodstone over here as well. This is also very cool consumables. These cold blood dews, thick blood dews, all that stuff. If you crush it, it also gives you some blood echoes that you can use for trading and upgrading your character. Once that door is open, you have that shortcut. You'll see everything is centered around Central Yharnum. The whole game basically is centered around. Even if you go underground or way up high into the castles, everything is centered around Central Yharnum. So we have this this shortcut. Now this is you're gonna see exactly now where we're gonna come out. It's the gate where we started off at the lantern. That's where we're basically at now. So as soon as I open up this gate, there's the little lantern that we started off, or the very first lantern that we lit in this area. So if you die, you can just respawn there and just go this way again. You don't need to go all the way through that whole alleyway, or that where all those enemies are. Another shortcut that I'm thinking of, there's not one over here, but this is good to do to kill these trolls early, because they can be a handful if you're a beginning player. But as you can see, you can do viscerals on them, and you can get rid of them quite quickly, unless, you know, he just bashes your head in with the fucking brick. That's another thing, my friends. Always remember to heal up your character. When you take damage, make sure you heal up your character using the triangle button. Man, this game still looks so good. Love this gothic look. I'm going to show you one of the first cheeses that you're going to learn in the game of Bloodborne. You can be very brave and take on the werewolves, or you can... for some reason, these wolves won't fit through this door. I don't know why that happens, but yeah. Oh yeah, what I'm doing here is I'm just crushing all those cold blood dews just to gain some more blood echoes. Various sizes of blood, rocks and stuff have different values of blood echoes that you can use. Now there's two werewolves to my right hand side there. These guys, it's the same as the werewolves I fought in the beginning of Yharnum's clinic. Now you can, like I say, most of the things in Bloodborne you can stun and visceral. Getting these guys to get stunned it takes training and it takes a long time because they're quite fast and they're very dangerous. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kill one the normal way, like with a visceral. There. If you hear that sound, you know the stunning happened. So I'm going to kill that one that way. And then the other one I'm going to show you the cheese way. Now you can use this cheese on both of them. Once you gain their attention, run down back to this door. Now, I mean, you see that door is the size of Satan's butthole. But it's, for some reason, Mr. Wolfie, he can't fit through the fucking door. So it does help if you're a beginning player to do this, because I mean I'm taking damage and my character is actually not a low level character. So yeah, there's one little cheat or cheese for you. And I mean, then you can throw whatever you want at them. You can throw some molotovs, you can extend your weapon, you can do some double attacks and all that stuff. Me myself, I just like, going for it and hitting them. They usually drop either blood shards or they drop blood vials. See, like there. Always, my friends, when you see a light, go pick it up. Here's one of your more hidden blood shards over here behind this this little statue. I think the only thing that really irritates me about Bloodborne is how dirty you get as long as you go on. The bloodier you get. There's a way to clean your clothing and your armor and all that stuff, but I like a nice pristine looking armor set. Tip for those dogs. Those dogs can be very irritating. Whenever a dog approaches you, either walk back just a couple of steps and then forward, or if you have a firearm, shoot at it. Because one bullet is going to make it, jump away from you and then go for the kill. Those dogs can be very irritating and they can also cause a lot of damage and death. Never be afraid to attack from a distance, my friends. I mean, once those dogs start lunging into those, those single bite attacks, that's irritating. I tried going for the bullet shot there, but I didn't do that. Interesting thing, if you take this route that I just did now, I went, up the back stairs and I'm coming this way. That stone toe I told you about behind the gate, once you start fighting over here, he's going to come up these stairs. If you go down the previous way before you go down the coffins, he'll be standing still next to the gate, but he will be alerted to your presence eventually. So just be careful of that. But as you can see, visceral attacks on any enemy helps a lot, and it does deal a lot of damage. Poor Uncle Bob. Cheapskate, he only drops some, shining coins. That's a gate we're going to be heading to because that's a very important side quest that we need to do in the game. You can't open it from this side, so we're going to go down into the sewer part. As you can see, this is only the opening part of the game, and I mean this area is huge, and it does interconnect with everything that you see in the game later on. Some lazy crows over here. Behind those coffins you'll find some oil urns. And what you do with those oil urns, you also equip them on your quick items. If you throw that at an enemy and then you throw a Molotov at him, the burning effect is just a bit better. Interesting thing here, if you have insights, which is the second icon on the right hand side below my blood echoes, you can summon help. Now that's actually one of the bosses that we're going to fight in this thing. It's Father Gascoigne. But if you haven't killed the cleric beast first, you can actually summon Father Gascoigne to just come and help you a bit. It does help sometimes, but sometimes, remember, these NPCs, they don't do what you want them to do. They go their own way. Interesting weapon you pick up here is the torch. This works very well in dark places, if it's very dark in caves and all that stuff. but it's also a very cool weapon that you can, you know, set fire to stuff. Now remember, when we started off the game, I told you here we can either go the path of the coffins, or we could go that part. We already cleared out this part on this side. We already did the shortcuts on this side. So we're going to be heading down the stairs over here. That's what I was talking about. Use your firearm to keep some distance between you and the dogs. The dogs in the cages, unless they jump out of the cages, they can't really do anything to you. So, some more blood cold dew over here. You see, we're supposed to be heading that way because we're going to need to cross that bridge. But we'll get to that, my friends. We will definitely get to that one. Continuing on here to another interesting NPC. It's the little old lady. One of the NPCs you can send to the Cathedral Ward or Odin's Chapel later on. But we're not doing that now. Whenever you get to this part, this is very important, my friends. Go through this little window and go talk to Eileen. First thing you do when you get into this area, go talk. Don't attack her, because her quest line has a very interesting part to play in the game of Bloodborne.
Oh, a hunter, are you? What a mess you've been caught up in. Here, to welcome the new hunter. Prepare yourself for the worst. There are no humans left. They're all flesh-hungry beasts now. Still lingering about? What's wrong? No matter. Without fear in our hearts, we're little different from the beasts themselves. What are you still doing here? A hunter must hunt.
A hunter must hunt. She's right. A hunter must hunt. Before I tell you her story, you see this little light over there? It's probably the weapon that I'm holding in my hand. So when you play this for the first time, this is where you find the sword spear. You can later accumulate, buy it from the Bath messengers in the Hunter's Dream. As soon as you picked up the Saw Hunter's badge, which I will also show you where to find that. And the other light over here is another bloodshot. Right, we're going to continue on here. Why I said Eileen's quest is so important, it's because she plays a very vital role. Her lore is some of the saddest, maybe, for me, in the game of Bloodborne, because you don't know how long she's been doing this. You know, how long has she been fighting these beasts, and how long has the scourge been going on for real? I guess these guys, I called them Stanley, they've been sick a lot longer than most of the other people. But again, guys, you can visceral the hell out of them, and you can just attack them any way you feel you should, but just take your time. Don't just run in there and start swinging. The biggest killer in Bloodborne, in my opinion, is that little green bar, the stamina bar, the endurance bar, if I can put it that way. Once that runs out, your character becomes slow. It's like you're swimming in mud. You see, with every hit, you know your endurance goes down. And Bloodborne is the only Soulsborne game where you actually, when you hit an enemy, where you actually gain some health back. You don't get that in Dark Souls. You don't get that in Elden Ring. You don't get that in Sekiro, I think. You don't get that in Ghost. So, yeah. For me, still, Bloodborne is still the best out of all the Soulsborne games. Definitely. I've said this in so many of my videos previously. I beg Bluepoint to, or From Software, whoever takes over this game, just give us a new remaster of this game. Even if you don't want to give us a sequel or a prequel, just give us a remaster of this game. Because there's some serious hardcore fans out there, man. We want to see this for the next generation. We've been waiting for a while. But anyway, back to the game. These lovely little bastards, big ass sewer rats. Again, draw them out, my friends. Don't try and fight them all at once because they are going to kill you. It's just a fact. You can lure them into that little passageway there, and then you can throw them with some molotovs or some knives or whatever. But there's a very interesting item that you need to pick up as a first-time player. I'm going to show you where to find your very first madman's knowledge. Now, as you can see there, I have 1 insight. Now, what that basically means is I can use that to either summon in co-op help from a friend via online play, or you use that to you can purchase stuff. There's this thing: the more insight you have, the more difficult the game can be, and the more you see. Hence the word insight. I use my insights sometimes if I help out people or if I play online with some friends and all that stuff. The truth about Bloodborne is I have over 4,000 hours of playtime in the game. I've done close to 250 full playthroughs of the game. I've spent a lot of time on this game, and it's easy to see why. It's just it's made so good. But what you saw, what I just did there, I picked up my first Madman's Knowledge there, and that's now I have 2 of those. Now those are going to come in play when you go to the Hunter's Dream first for the first time as well. The sewer part is quite big. You're going to come back a couple of times depending on the pickups that you missed. There's some gnarly enemies here, guys with guns. There's some of Stanley's brothers. Sort them out one for one, guys. It is kind of nice once you log onto an enemy, you can actually dodge their attack. When they shoot, you just lunge forward, you know, the quick step forward. Some more Cold Blood Dew over here. There's Stanley's brother. He's a little bit more pissed off than Uncle Stanley. I mean, it kind of feels like he hits harder. Oh well. So knocked him down to the sewer there. The guys with the guns, most of the times they drop bullets. These crows that's hiding and just being lazy over here, they either give you oil urns or pebbles. But I find this very interesting. Whenever I watch videos of people doing Bloodborne, they always miss a specific set of crows. Can you tell me where those crows are? It's right over here. You never see people going for this oil urn behind this coffin. It's like a little hidden gem. On those beams below me, there's actually a little couple of lights. Now you see that light across from you there? There's your very first Hunter's Guard, but we can't get to there from this side. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop down, go back up this ladder, and open up the shortcut next to the little girl. Now the little girl, she also has a very important part to play. She's actually the daughter of Father Gascoigne. But she's been abandoned, you know. The mum went out to look for Father Gascoigne, probably thinking he was going to go peddle their money for some drink and everything. But it was the scourge that drove him insane. So, past these crows, by the way. I don't know why I did that, but okay. Another one of your Madman's Knowledges. So you can gain 2 normal Madman's Knowledges, and with the boss fights you can accumulate 3 more per boss. So, very handy and nifty to know. But anyway, this little girl, she's been abandoned by her mother because the mother went to go and look for Father Gascoigne. As we know, Father Gascoigne, he's gone completely cuckoo. He's standing there in the graveyard, chopping up bodies and stuff. So if you follow the little girl's quest line, agree to go look for the girl's mother. And then from there you can follow that little quest line. There's a video on my channel. It's one where you send all the NPCs to safety. Now, a fellow hunter of mine recently pointed out that's actually a very bad sense of humor that From Software has, because nobody really gets saved. In a way, they do, depending on how far you play the game. But the sad part is, I mean, eventually, the main sad part about the game is the dream continues. It never stops.
I don't know your voice, but I know that smell. Are you going to take us for a look for my mum? Daddy never came back from the hunt, and she went to find him. but now she's gone too. I'm all alone and scared. Really? Oh, thank you. My mum wears a red jeweled brooch. It's so big and beautiful. You won't miss it. Oh, I mustn't forget. If you find my mum, give her this music box. It plays one of Daddy's favourite songs, and when Daddy forgets us, we play it for him so he remembers. Mum's so silly running off without it.
Right, now the funny thing is that little music box is going to help you if you fight Father Gascoigne for the first time. So make sure you load that up on your quick items, because what it does, as soon as you go into that area, he's a very fast boss, he hits very hard, and he can be quite a handful. You play that little music box and then he kind of gets distracted for just a little while. Now before I'm going to head over to where I'm going to fight Father Gascoigne and get my very first hunter's garb, a bit stronger armor. This is where you find your very first boss in the game, which is called the Cleric Beast. Now remember what I told you guys in the beginning, look at the left arm, how big that left arm is. That's kind of the sign of the Scourge and the Beasts and all that stuff. It's kind of a nice intro boss. I always find it so interesting. When you fight him for the first time, he can be hard, but he's not that hard. Yet the hardest boss for me personally, and I think for a lot of Bloodborne players, if you play the old Hunters DLC and you get to the boss called Lawrence. Lawrence is the exact same beast as the Cleric Beast, but he's just like 100 times stronger. It's insane. From the easiest boss to the hardest boss. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to add some beast blood pellets and some fire paper to my weapon. I'll talk about this later in the game as I go on. Important, hit this boss as soon as he lands. There you get a visceral. There's like a free shot. Make sure you hit him on the head as soon as you run in. As soon as he lands. Now I'm just going to employ my normal way of just hacking and slashing. Most beasts don't like fire, that's why I'm using the fire paper. I'll explain to you later where you get all this stuff and why it is so important. But you'll probably, as a beginning blood player, have a shitload of Molotovs. So just toss some Molotovs at him, some decent damage, hit him a couple of times and circle around him. And you should be fine. He's not that hard. Just be careful of that big left hand. I know it looks easy because my character is a bit stronger, but you'll get there, my friends. If you do this for the first time, you can do this. After a boss fight, look for a lantern and light it. It's just an easy place to go and spawn to go to your next place. Most people would go to the Hunter's Dream from here. I'm not going to do that. I'm only going to go to the Hunter's Dream after the Father Gascoigne fight. Very interesting thing as well. You see those little messages below around the little lantern. If you're playing online, you can either play the game online or you can play it offline. If you play the game online, the more people that are present in your current world, the more little messages there will be. Simple little things that you can just find in the game. The people who wrote this game, they did such a great job, lure-wise. It's not just a normal RPG game. I mean, I've played a lot of RPG games in my life. And I'll say this to my dying day, Bloodborne is by far the best. The best I've ever played. It's wonky at some points, some of the animation looks funny and all that stuff. But you can't deny that it was one huge leap when it came to RPG gaming. And don't be fooled, my friends. I mean, most people, they got so pissed off with this game. There's a blood shard over here for you, by the way. They got so pissed off with this game because of how hard it is. You just don't start off and you run through the game and you beat the game in the first play. No, it doesn't work that way. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked here. I'm heading towards where you find your very first proper hunter's garb. get rid of Uncle Stanley here. Train yourself to do visceral attacks, my friends. It helps a lot in your combat, not just on the enemies, but if you have PvP battles. If you have that in the game, viscerals really help out a lot. Most people just hack and slash, and I mean that's how you get a quick victory over an enemy. Let's grab that before he falls down. Got to stand his brother over here. Kind of looks like a spider. Has that very spiny back. That's probably a face that her mother could love, but anyway. That's, as far as I know, that's probably going to be some blood vials. What I just did there is I substituted one of my blood vials for bullets. Using your arrow keys, if you press up, you're going to lose a little bit of health on your health bar, but you'll gain 5 bullets. That's if you use your gun a lot. Thick cold blood, a better version of some blood echoes that you can get. I mean, if you do what I just did, use your height advantage and just jump on the enemies. Right over there is your first your first proper garb that I'm going to put on right now. And it looks very familiar, you'll see. It's the same garb that you're wearing on the cover of the game, or the wallpapers that you might have seen. And I do implore you put this on at the beginning of the game because it does have a better defenses and stuff. So I'm going to get rid of the foreign garb. I'm going to put on the pointy Napoleon hat. Some nice leathers. Can't go wrong with leather. Lipstick, leather. Now this kind of looks familiar, don't you think? You see, there's the long ladder we came from the other part. So we're basically done in this area. You can always come back and explore to your heart's content. Make sure you have all your pickups and you get all the stuff you need. These enemies, I'm not so fond of them because they can be quite a handful. Once they start slapping you, not fun. I could have left those crows, but oh well. The reason they only give you pebbles is because there's this myth, that crows only pick your eyes out. And if you look at the pebbles, they kind of look like eyeballs. A lot of things are centered around eyeballs in this game. As you go on in the game, you'll see there's more and more eye thingies appear. Hence the pebbles also look like eyeballs. You see, I just got the slap there from a guy floating around here in his own filth. Now, normally you would go for the pig first, but before you do that, go up this ladder and open up the shortcut. There's one final shortcut that you need to open in order to play Central Yharnum safely. As you've seen, the area is quite big, and there's a lot of... If you die, if you haven't opened up the shortcuts, then you have to run around past multiple enemies and all that stuff. Make sure you come and open up this elevator first before you go back down to the pig. I'm just going to show you where you come out of. You remember the two big Uncle Bobs next to the staircase? So if you start off from the lantern there at the top, if you should die, it's very easy to get to the little elevator and head towards Father Gascoigne. Sorry, I'm taking the long way around now, but I just want to show you. There's nothing that irritates me more when I do a video and I actually explain to people what to do, and then sometimes you'll get a comment from a guy, "You didn't explain the video properly." No, my friend, you didn't watch the fucking video. You only skipped to the part you wanted to watch. I mean, there's a reason you call it a tutorial video, my friend. Watch the whole video. It's just, common sense. But anyway. Two things you can do here. You can either run across the bridge, or you can go down. If you're a first-time Bloodborne player, go down the stairs, go to the pig. Don't go this way because there's going to be a big giant ball, you see over there, that's going to be triggered as soon as you start crossing this bridge. There's an easier way to get around this. So instead of being very brave, just go back down the ladder and head towards the pig, because this is where you find the Sword Hunter's badge. Now once you find the Sword Hunter's badge, you can actually start buying different weapons like the Hunter's Axe, the Soul Spear, the Kirk Hammer, all that stuff. The pigs are very slow, so if you can get a visceral on them, give them a, stick your finger up the bum, then you should be okay. One of these is also a great blood, it's a cold blood dew, and then over here you'll find, for the first time, you'll find the Sword Hunter's badge, which is this little item over here. Like I said, this will help you buy some new weapons and stuff from the Bath Messengers. There's a lot of badges in the games. I can't remember them all off the top of my head now, but you're going to need this. If you already picked it up in a previous game, you're going to get a Bold Hunter's Mark. I kind of forgot to tell you this. When you pick up a Bold Hunter's Mark, it's also a very cool item to have. If you're stuck in an area or you're busy farming for blood echoes and stuff, and you have a couple of Bold Hunter's Marks, you use those to go back to the lantern and start all over again. That's a great way for farming and stuff. Now you'll see the little ball is going to be lit here by Uncle Bob. There goes all the farmers. I don't know why they're running all of a sudden. And the ball basically crushes them. Sometimes they die, sometimes they don't. But I think it's actually a little mistake the game made. I don't think that was supposed to happen. Okay, I'm just going to get rid of Uncle Bob first. Get rid of the big guy first. The guy with that little wooden surfboard, not really worried about him. Some blood. Oh, shining coins, okay. I don't know why the ball didn't kill those guys, because I mean and where that ball ended up, probably went down the sewer. Oh, okay. But yes, I'm gonna kill these guys because consumables are always needed, especially if you head into a fight with Father Gascoigne. Now guys, there's various videos on my channel on how you can fight Father Gascoigne safely, and what works the best for me as a Bloodborne player, and so on and so forth. In this video, I'm not going to use the music box. For first time players, I implore you, use the music box. Stick and move. Hit Father Gascoigne as much as you can and run. When it goes into his second phase, there's a way where you can go and stand at the bottom of the stairs, extend your weapon, any weapon that you have, and you can maybe cheese him a bit. But that can go wrong as well. There's a video on the channel. I'll leave the links in the description below of these specific videos that you can use to fight Gascoigne. There's no specific way to kill any boss. You fight him the way you want to fight him, but there is various ways. Don't get stuck on just one thing. That's what I was talking about, the Bold Hunter's Marks. So if I wanted to go back to the lantern now and start all over again, killing enemies again, farming for blood echoes, I'll just, use a Bold Hunter's Mark, respawn back at the lantern. But for now, I'm just going to enjoy this fight with Father Gascoigne. One of my favorite cutscenes in the whole game is actually this one. This eerie old man just standing there destroying what once was a citizen of Yharnum.
Beasts all over the shop. You'll be one of them, sooner or later.
Mr. rotten breath. Now, what I usually do in these fights, my friends, I'm using fire paper again, I'm using some beast blood pellets, but I also depend a lot on visceral attacks. He's not that hard to get visceral attacks on because his attacks are quite wide. Don't get cocky, that's the thing. As you can see, his attacks are a little bit slower, so they're easier to predict.
What's that smell? The sweet blood. Oh, it sings to me. It's enough to make a man sick.
So there we transfers. What I usually do is I just go for a hack and slash move and just hit him as much as I can before he dies. But like I said, there's multiple videos on the channel that you can go check out on how to fight Gascoigne in various different ways. But that's basically Central Yharnum that we've explored. After the boss fight with Gascoigne, you get what's called the Odin's Tomb Key, and that's going to take you to the next area, also in Yharnum, the Cathedral Ward. Getting back to the little girl's quest. Here's a poor mother, the mom that went missing. Actually, Gascoigne killed his own wife in a fit of rage, and there's the little red brooch. Now, if you follow the little girl's quest line, you can go back to her at the window and you can hand this brooch over to her. Or you can use the brooch, which you can add to one of your weapons, to buff up certain points on whatever weapon you are using. It's always your choice. It's like I always say to people, don't just play one playthrough of Bloodborne, do multiple. I mean, you have 3 different endings in the game, so there's 3 different things you need to follow in order to get to those endings. There's so much lore about the NPCs and stuff, you're not going to get this in one playthrough. But okay, I'm waking up in the Hunter's Dream for the first time now, after I've killed Gascoigne and I killed the Cleric Beast. I'm basically done in Central Yharnum. You can always go back to farm for more materials and blood echoes in order to upgrade your character. But this is what it looks like if you wake up in the Hunter's Dream for the first time. It looks like this when you transport there via the lantern or you die. Beautiful little spot where you can come and rest and maybe just gather your thoughts and all that stuff. The doll is just sitting here at the moment. She's not doing anything. You see these little gravestones. The lanterns that you are lighting in the world of Bloodborne, they will appear on those gravestones. So if you ever need to go back to a specific area, come to the Hunter's Dream and just go to that specific area. You get these 3 weapons for free in the beginning of the game. It's an axe, a threaded cane, or a sword cleaver. Now, the sword cleaver is by far one of my favorites. You get a choice of 2 pistols. The Hunter's pistol is the more powerful one. The blunderbuss is like a shotgun. It just has a very widespread shot. And the way you equip those is you go to your arms on your equipment list and just make sure the little dot is red. And you use that with your arrow keys to select those weapons. Inside the little chapel, on the left hand side you'll find the bath messengers. On the right hand side you'll find this big wooden cupboard where you store your consumables. Any things you don't want to carry with you, weapons, armor, anything, you can come and store here, and you can come pick it up via the Hunter's Dream. Over there is Mr. Stumpy, Mr. Yharnum, who's actually one of the main characters, and he's also the last boss, depending on what storyline you follow and what ending you are going for. You can always use your insights that you accumulate via Madman's Knowledges to buy either fire paper or bolt paper, any of the more specialized weapons or specialized consumables. Or you use that in order to summon your online friends if you want to play. There's a video on the channel there as well where you can how to summon your friends and have some fun in Bloodborne. There's always a use for any type of consumable. Over here, this is where you come to build up your weapon. You know, with the blood shards I told you guys about in the beginning. I picked up the sword cleaver now for free outside, so I'm just going to use, I have 13 of those bloodstone shards. So in order to get it to a +3, I'm probably going to use all of those. Yes, I can only take my weapon to a +2. I need 8 more bloodstone shards to make it a +3. And then when we move on to the next area, which is the cathedral wall and all that stuff, we're going to get some more better shards in order to make your weapon eventually a +10 weapon and make it very strong. But this is where you do that. Important to talk to him. I didn't talk to him in the game here, but he just basically tells you about the dream and he welcomes you to the world of Bloodborne. But don't be fooled by him. He's a conjuring old man. This is a part, I wasn't sure if I should include this in the video, but this is where you equip your Carol runes. Now, Carol runes is also a thing that kind of buffs up your character. It can raise your stamina, it can raise your HP, it can do some damage negotiation for you, make you take less damage. A lot of different Carol runes in the game. At one point, I'm going to make a video of every single Carol rune and where you find those. But for beginning players, that's not important right now. The Bath Messengers over here is where you purchase your stuff. If you're going to play the game for the first time, guys, use 10,000 blood echoes to buy what you call the Hunter's Chief Emblem, because it's a key that you need to open up a gate. And if you're a beginning Bloodborne player, that's the key I'm talking about. Buy that straight off for 10,000, because in order to accumulate 10,000 blood echoes again by grinding as a first time Bloodborne player, it's going to take you forever. So when you have save at least 10,000 before you buy blood vials and swords and all that shit, go buy the Hunter's Chief Emblem first if you're a first time Bloodborne player, because you need to open a gate with that. There is a way to open up the shortcut in a different way, but that's for another video, my friends. Also, I mean, as you see here, you can buy some armor sets. You can, according to how far you've progressed in the game, that's what you can buy from the Bath Messengers and how many of the badges you've picked up in the game. Remember, if you play the game for the first time and you pick up the Saw Hunter's badge, you've already picked it up. You're not going to pick it up again if you do a New Game Plus or a New Game Plus 2 or whatever. Now, we need this doll in order to upgrade our character. But if you come to the Hunter's Dream for the first time, she's just sitting there, just a doll. This is where you use that, you can use 2 ways. You can use the Bold Hunter's Mark and just reawaken. If you have insight, you must have at least 1 insight on your character. Then the doll would be alive, like so. The secondary way you can do this, you just go to one of the gravestones, go to one of the previous lanterns, load in there, just come back to the Hunter's Dream. But use the Bold Hunter's Marks that you got from Eileen.
Hello, good
It's very
hunter.
easy to do it this way. And now you can go chat with her and you can upgrade your character.
Here in this dream to look after you. Honorable hunter, pursue the echoes of blood, and I will channel them into your strength. You will hunt beasts, and I will be here for you to to embolden your sickly spirit. Very well. Let me stand close.
We're going to use her to upgrade our character. So I have a couple of blood echoes that I can use. There's the 6 main things I told you guys about: vitality, endurance, skill, strength. Sorry, I said stamina. I meant skill. Blood tinge and arcane. I'm a strength build, so I love, pushing my strength and skill. That has to do with your physical power. Blood tinge has to do with your gun, and arcane basically has to do with your magic weapons, like in the old Dark Souls type thing. Vitality obviously is your
Farewell,
health,
good
and endurance
hunter.
is your stamina.
May you find your worth in the waking world.
Goodbye. Thank you so much. That is it, my friends, for this first video of the basics of Bloodborne for beginning players. Always stock up on your blood vials and your bullets. Stock up on the consumables that you use the most. And most important, guys, once you leave the game, always shut it down the right way. Don't just turn off your PlayStation and walk away, because you can always lose your save data and all that stuff, and then you have to start all over again. So instead of doing that, just go to your system button over there and click on exit game, and then you should be ready to go for the next one. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you for sticking with me with this. It was a very long video, I know, but I really hope this helps new Bloodborne players enjoy the wonderful game that is Bloodborne. I will see you guys in the next one. Leave me some comments down below on what you would like to see, and I'll see if I can get around to doing that for you. We shall talk soon, my friends. Keep well, be safe, and good hunting. And thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you for supporting my channel. I really, really appreciate it. You have no idea how much I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Good hunting, my friends. Cheers.